Good morning and welcome to the second live session where we are looking at shadow work and that part of us that we all have that perhaps we don't always want to acknowledge. Now, today I want to build on from where I left you on Tuesday, and we're going to go on a bit of a journey. We're going to look a bit more around the world of shadow work. We're going to explore a bit more about what it is. We're going to look at the immense benefits that an individual can expect to experience once they've actually dealt with their shadow side. And we're also going to look at why it's often advisable to work with a coach when you're doing this kind of introspective work. Now, also, we're going to look at the fact that shadow work is not a one-time endeavour. It's not like get it done and that's it. We don't need to go back. Sometimes we can sort of eradicate a problem. But really, it is an ongoing process that really can lead to lasting personal growth and self-realization. It's almost a little bit like cleaning your oven, it's a job that nobody really wants to do, but you have to do it every so often because then you see the benefits and your oven works better, it's more efficient, and it's just one of those things. Now, along the way, we're going to uncover some practical techniques for shadow work, and I'm hopefully going to unveil some of the secrets to personal growth, emotional healing, and living authentically. And you'll remember that they are some of the points that I touched on during the live on Tuesday. Now, I will keep referring back to the live on Tuesday. I don't particularly want to go over the information in too much more detail. The live is still available on the page, so if you didn't catch us on Tuesday, you can go back and watch that one just to fill in the gaps, either once you've listened to this or before you continue with this one. So you will remember that we said that at its core, shadow work is really the practice of delving into our subconscious and confronting hidden aspects of ourselves. So really what I want you to do is think of it almost like a bit of an archaeological excavation. We're going on a dig, okay? And actually the site we are excavating is your own soul. It involves acknowledging the existence of these buried emotions and facets of your personality, and we're going to bring them to the surface and integrate them into your conscious awarenessness, because often when we're on these digs, there's some real treasure, buried treasure sort of lurking below the surface, and that is the thing, that is the gem that we are looking for on this journey. But before we do that, what we need to do is look at the benefits of shadow work and understand why it is so important and why it can be so transformative for our lives. Now, if you remember, I gave you five reasons, I suppose, when we were together on Tuesday as to why I think shadow work is so important. And that was self-awareness, emotional healing, personal growth, healthy relationships, and authenticity. And again, if you missed any of that, you can go back and watch the live that we shared on Tuesday. So bearing in mind, they are the five sort of key areas, I suppose. There are so many benefits to shadow work, but for me, they're the five key areas that I really wanted to highlight for this particular program that we're doing now. So what we want to do now is look at practical tips and techniques for anybody who wants to undertake shadow work and really look at how we embark on this transformational journey. Now, what I've done here is I've given you some of my top tips, I suppose. Again, I've tried to keep it quite simple because if somebody does want to sort of have a go at sort of, a little bit of shadow work on their own, then of course you are absolutely free to do that. So I'm giving you my tips here. But I will refer later on again, as I said in later on in this live, in terms of why I think it really is so important to embark on this work with somebody sort of working alongside you. However, the first of my top tips has to be, you know me, it's got to be journaling. Write down your thoughts, your feelings, and your reflections, because it's a really effective way to uncover any hidden aspects of yourself. You know, if something triggers you, maybe you don't know why initially, and it's worth taking the time to just sit down and understand what happened, who said it, what was the context they said it in, how did it make you feel, did it trigger you immediately, did it take time for it to filter through and you got more cross about it as time went on, or was it an instant, you know, like a wasp sting, instant kind of reaction that that affected you? These are the kind of things that you really need to be thinking about when you're journaling. And remember, you know, with your journal, you don't have to share this information with anybody. It's your personal recollection. So don't worry about grammar, don't worry about spellings, how neat your handwriting is, anything like that. It's just about almost emptying the contents of your mind in terms of a situation that happened and writing it down so you can go back on it, reflect on it, meditate on it if that's what you want to do. Because point number 2 that I have here in my tips is, in fact, meditation. Now, mindfulness meditation can really help you observe your thoughts and emotions, again, without judgment, which allows your shadows to come to the surface. And you're going to hear me say repeatedly, without judgment, because, you know, often our shadows start to form because we feel we are being judged, because it's something that maybe we're a little bit ashamed of and we don't want other people to judge us. So forgive me if I repeat consistently without judgment, but it really is super, super important that you know that you are not being judged at any time during this particular process. Another tip, and this again is something which I really would stress is better done when you have somebody working alongside you, and that is the work of inner child work. And that's about exploring your inner child's needs and wounds, which can often uncover some deep-seated issues. It can be beliefs that we have carried since childhood. It can be things that our teachers, our parents, respected people, you know, people we respected, sort of beliefs that they instilled into us that we have then carried as our own beliefs, but that don't necessarily sit entirely comfortably with us as we've gone on through our journey of life. Another thing, dream analysis. Pay attention to your dreams because they often contain symbolic representation of your subconsciousness. You know, sometimes, I realise not everybody remembers their dreams, but, you know, take a notebook and a pen to bed with you, leave it on your bedside cabinet, and even if you just write down odd words or draw a picture or whatever it is that just helps you remember those things that you sort of visited or touched on in your dreams, because that really can give you an awful lot of information in terms of what is going on. And then finally, creative expression. Now, whether that be art, music, dance, cooking, gardening, any form of creative expression really can provide you with an outlet for unearthing and processing your shadows. And, you know, just when you sort of free your mind of, you know, going through things you've got to do and your to-do list that's, you know, it almost seems like it's never ending. Just relax and allow your creativity to flow, clear your mind of everything else, and what comes up is often incredibly telling for you. And then just, you know, take some time and consider why maybe you felt the need to express yourself in the way that you did. Now, as I said, I've touched on it several times, but working with a coach is, in my opinion, for shadow work, incredibly important. And I want to address why I think it is so advisable for anybody, you know, whether you've done this before or not. I think having a coach or somebody with you that's got a bit of an understanding is so beneficial. And the first reason for that is guidance, because a coach will provide you with valuable guidance and support throughout the process. They can help you to navigate the challenging terrain of your psyche and offer you insights and strategies to facilitate your growth. Often when we're dealing with shadow traits and characteristics, it can sort of bring up a whole sort of turbulence of emotions, and having somebody there to sort of offer you a steady anchor, if you like, just to rationalize and normalize things for you a little bit, again, without judgment, is worth so much you would not believe. Now, accountability. Having a coach ensures you stay committed to your journey. Now, they're going to hold you accountable for your progress and provide motivation during the challenging times because, sometimes when things get a little bit uncomfortable, and they might, the tendency is to say, oh, do you know what? Not going to go there. It's uncovering something that is still a bit too raw, or it's best left where it is, or what have you. And what they're going to do is they're not going to sort of, pin you up and absolutely make you confess anything or what have you, but they're going to sort of, give you that accountability and remind you of why you wanted to go on this journey, and what these blocks are that are holding you back, and actually what you stand to gain if you just push through some of the more difficult times. Now, a coach is also going to offer you a safe space, and again, non-judgmental, for you to explore your shadows. And this really is crucial for building trust and facilitating deeper exploration, because it's not a case of just scratching the surface and everything suddenly goes away. It doesn't work like that. You do really need to dig a little bit deeper if you're going to get the significant benefits that you're looking for with your shadow work. Now, coaches also, you would hope, bring expertise and experience to the table. They've often undergone their own shadow work and can offer wisdom and techniques that are going to really expedite and accelerate your growth and kind of get you through the sticky patches smoother than you might if you were trying to do this on your own. Now, as I alluded to earlier, shadow work is often an ongoing process. It's not a one-time event, but something that we are encouraged to go back and revisit on a regular basis. Now, for me, I tend to, as you know, follow the cycles of the moon. So as the moon is getting smaller and working towards the dark moon, that is the time for me to go in there and clear out anything that maybe feels a bit sticky or that isn't sitting comfortably with me. And the benefit of doing this more often is that once you've done the hard work and got rid of the deep-rooted issues, then hopefully by revisiting it on a more regular basis, nothing is quite so deep and traumatic, or at least the more you do it, the less traumatic the experience becomes, so that, once it becomes more of a habit with you, you're just sort of cleansing things that might have happened during the month, or perhaps you were working on it last month and you didn't quite get it cleared and you've got a little bit more to do, and it just becomes more manageable once you build it into part of your normal routine. Now, shadow work is not it is like tending the garden. Just as plants need constant care, our inner landscape requires regular attention. And as we evolve and experience new challenges, as I said, our challenges may rise to the surface or resurface again, and revisiting shadow work periodically allows us to continue on our journey of self-discovery and transformation. And you'll find that the more you go through this process, the better you will see your results manifesting for you as time moves on. So I suppose in conclusion, what I would say to you, that embracing your shadow through shadow work is a courageous and empowering path to personal growth and self-realization. Consider working with a coach to maximize the benefits of the journey, and remember that it is a lifelong process that can lead to lasting positive changes in your life. Embrace your shadows, my friend, for they are the key to unlocking your true potential.